Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. With your hosts, Todd Craig and Craig Magrum.
Welcome to the Spiro Podcast, managing your real estate photography and videography business. Spiro is a software platform that's designed to help you really manage and grow and maximize your real estate photo and video business and make the most of it. And in this podcast, what we're going to do is really focus on the business side of our businesses. Lots of great material out there about the creative side of what we do, talking about the cameras and the lenses and composition and editing and all that good stuff. But just building a good foundation of business knowledge, how to lead our companies, how to lead our staff, how to do accounting, basic accounting. That was something I was weak in. These are all things that we want to tackle on this podcast, and we are always open to your questions. And we'll give you some contact information of how to submit those questions for us to address in the podcast at the end of the podcast. But before we dive into things, we just want to say thank you to our new subscribers, both on our YouTube channel and on our audio podcast at spiromedia.podbean.com. We're seeing some new listeners and viewers, and we're just excited to have you. So wanted to say thank you. And don't forget, you can share this with your colleagues in our industry, whether it's a Facebook group that you're involved in talking about real estate photo and video, or maybe a LinkedIn page. Spread the word, and we would love to see some more people come in and be a part of the Spiro podcast community. So with that, I'm Craig Magrum. I'm the business development and client care specialist for Spiro and host of the Spiro podcast. And of course, with me every week, our founder, our owner, and co-host of the Spiro podcast, Todd Craig. Todd, welcome. The summer is flying by.
Yes, you can't get rid of me, Craig. I'm here again this week. It is flying by, and hopefully you're able to find a break out there. This is what I'd always called heart attack season. Although July is a little bit less, it seems to kind of wind down a little bit and then tips back up after school starts. But hopefully you are finding a way to take a break and to give yourself a good, what I call a rest-run ratio. You can only run so hard before you just go crazy. Quite honestly, I know that I'm hitting my point. I'm having off, 2 days in a row here. So that is something that I just challenge you with, because we all get to that point, and especially this time of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we had some friends over on the weekend. I love barbecuing and smoking meat, and just smoked a brisket. And I find that relaxing. It's a lot of work, but you're into that too, aren't you?
I am, Craig. I've kind of been bitten by the bug, and I have a vertical smoker. I typically smoke with charcoal, but to get more to your neck of the woods with an offset smoker, I actually just used wood splits in the vertical column the other day for some hamburgers. Turned out really good. Got nice smoke flavor on it, and I love experimenting. So if you guys are out there and you love the barbecue, send us a picture. Send us something. I'd love to talk barbecue.
Yeah. We could do a whole podcast on just smoking meat for sure.
We should do it live, and we'd have to time lapse it because it takes a while. But we should do something on location.
I actually just joined a barbecue smoking contest team, and going to my first competition up in Westland, Michigan, beginning of August. I'm partnering up with two Canadian friends that asked me to be a part of the team. So maybe I could do some sort of time lapse up there. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, a time lapse or some updates, some smell-o-vision.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh, all right. Well, before we go too much down that rabbit trail, man, just some exciting things coming up this year. Again, we're gonna dive into something real quick before we hit our main question. Later this fall, we've got an exciting event that we're attending for the very first time.
Yes, we do. PMRE. So this is a fabulous conference. And for those of you that don't know about it, just search PMRE conference. And they have a ton of great educational speakers coming in, and they cover many facets of it. They have some hands-on learning before it starts. It's in Vegas. This will be my first time to Vegas, so this will be fun. And we're in booth 8. So if you are there, come find us. We're actually building some cool swag right now, and coming up with some fun things that we think you'll like to get from the Spiro booth. But just come by and say hello. Would love to talk to you. I'd love to hear about your real estate photography business. And we're looking forward to being at the event.
Yeah. It's from what I've heard, just a great networking opportunity to build relationships in our industry and learn from each other and just grow together. So yeah, we're definitely excited. So Todd, we just came off a 2-part episode series on how to network with realtors one-on-one. We had 2 different guests, both within the Wow Video Tours family. Larry Lauder, our business development specialist in the Charlotte, North Carolina market, and then Chris Vogue from our Columbus, Ohio market. And they just did a fantastic job just sharing some tips on how to build relationships with realtors, how to discover needs, how to kind of present our solutions to helping a realtor with their marketing and imaging needs. Chris had some really good tips on how to run a sales meeting with somebody or a sit down coffee. And just some good practical advice. So if you miss those podcasts, make sure that you check it out on either our YouTube channel or on Podbean on spiromedia.podbean.com. But some really good, just down to earth, really relaxed kind of information. Sales doesn't have to be hard, but that was some really good material.
Yeah, they were 2 fun podcasts. And the thing about it is these are 2 members of our team that are out doing it every day. And they do it at a high level. And sales, if it's scary to you, then I think those 2 podcasts would be great to listen to. It like you mentioned, Craig, it doesn't have to be scary. And there is some easy things you can do. At the end of the day, these realtors are just looking to build relationships, and they will give you information you need to know. They'll help you along the way. You just have to ask some of the correct questions to get them to understand that you're there to help them. That's really all it is.
Right. Yeah, it really isn't scary. And I found it fun once I really got going and started working with more and more realtors. This is an awesome industry to work and serve in, really. So this week we're going to kick off a new question that really revolves around how we structure our products and services and how we present those to realtors that are, whether they're ordering online with us or maybe they're calling us to place an order for an appointment or texting us, however they do it, how we put together our products and services to present to them with what their needs are. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit more on that, Todd.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one because I think in the industry there's a couple different ways you can sell, and I feel very passionately about one. But when we're going to sell to realtors, we really have to think like a realtor. So in our case, what we found with Wow over the years is we in the office here would come up with really cool things. So new products or services, and we discuss them every day in the office. And as we build them, we know what a social 6 is. We know what a trendy video is. And you know what all the different levels you offer. Photos is, somewhat self-explanatory, but there's different tiers. Wow, how many photos do I get? But my point is that you know what your product. Don't assume that the realtors know them or think like you think. I can't tell you how many realtors we go into, and realtors that have ordered literally with us for the past 15, 18 years. I've ordered hundreds, if not thousands of tours. And I sit with them and they're like, oh, you have that? And I just go, and I don't do this literally. If I know them really well, I go, oh, I failed. But, how could one of your biggest clients not know something that you feel passionately about that's a service or a product that can help them? So I think we have to put our realtor thinking cap on today and not think like a creator.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that we've seen of how products and services are packaged or presented, to the realtor, whether it's individual like a la carte items, 25 photos, 45 photos, 30-second video, 1-minute video, 3 or 5 different drone packages. And they have this whole menu of items that they have to go through. Or you also see bundles, and packages that are bundled together to present to a realtor. But just all sorts of different ways to sell to a realtor. And you mentioned that, over the years, WOW has kind of discovered how realtors think. And so you've kind of changed over the years how you present those things to them. So let's dive into that a little bit more specifically. We all know that our clients need photos, video, drone, things like that. But what does it mean to really sell to the need of a realtor? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so most realtors, when they get a listing, I've discovered that they put that listing into one of three categories. They either get a listing and they say, this is my normal listing. So the list value, the location, those variables are all about normal. It's their average listing, and they want to market that property their normal or average way. Now, the other two sides of that is either they get a high-end listing and they say, this is a luxury listing.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, I need to go all out on this luxury listing because, one, I want to make those clients happy and sell the listing so I can make commission. But two, I want to get more of these luxury listings. That's the goal. If you talk to your clients, when they get a luxury listing or a listing that is above their average, ask them, hey, would you like to get more of these? 100 out of 100 would say yes.
Right.
And it's difficult to say 100% of anything, but I am telling you that they want to get more of those. There are higher price listings.
Right.
Listings are hard to get right now. They make more commission. It's a win-win.
Sure.
And then the flip side of that, Craig, is just the fact that they would get a lower end listing. So, hey, I'm doing someone, we've heard, hey, I'm doing a favor. I know that it's a family member, or they view this as not something they make a lot of money off of, but they get to help someone, and they typically are looking to minimize their marketing expense on those listings. So that's what I have found a realtor thinks about when they get a listing.
So when a realtor goes to order with us, like I said, we've seen a lot of different ways to sell. You'll see packages like 25 photos or 35 photos. You see people determining number of photos based on square footage, or what is the way that WOW has discovered to package things or present to our clients that makes sense and makes it easy for them? Because like I said, that menu item can be kind of frustrating and confusing for a realtor to have to go through when they're super busy and trying to figure out what all do I need for my average listing? What all do I need for my luxury listing? A under average or below average listing might just say, I just need some photos, and just do that real quick. But how do we make it easy for the realtor and sell to their need for that average listing or that luxury listing?
Yeah, great question. We think like a realtor, and then we put those items into what we call a bundle. So in the past, long time ago, when we were on a different version of the software, we literally would just show them a page with 20 options, and they would come and they would pick one or more or many of those options. Well, what we found is if you give them a list of 20 or even 10 options, they're just going to click usually one of them. I just need photos. And we don't want that, and I'm sure you don't want that. So WOW did 12,000 jobs last year, and out of those 12,000 jobs, 70% of those listings were photos and video. I don't want to send someone out to go do photos only. It happens sometimes. It happens 30% of the time, but most of the time we're going out and we're offering photos and video. And one of the reasons why is because we've always packaged photos and videos together, and we call that our essentials package. We don't feel like it's essential to only do photos. Essential has got to be photos and video. And I say this every year, and I've been saying it since 2004. But in 2022, don't you think video is essential? I mean, video is everywhere. So, and it's in everything we do. And that's the way we sell it. And that's our mentality. In fact, we put the photos only all the way down at the bottom of the page. And quite honestly, we've identified as clients that want to do photos only. That's not our target client. So I'm not saying they couldn't be your target client. And I'm assuming some things by saying that you want to do photos and video of them. But you need to identify your target client. We like to do more at a property. It gives us a higher ASP, which stands for average sale price.
Sure.
And it means the photographer, when they're on the property, they make more money, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And it means that the client has more marketing materials. The homeowner is more impressed because they have more marketing materials. The buyer can make a more informed decision because there's more marketing materials. So it stretches a huge gamut of the timeline. And it all comes back to the fact that we've just thought about packaging this and calling this the essentials. And we educate realtors on why video and then how to use video.
Makes sense. So say on our Spiro ordering page, again, going back to the individual menu items versus bundles, how are those bundles structured? I mean, like what's an ideal number of bundles so that the realtor's not overwhelmed and we make it simple for them?
That's a great question, Craig. I think in marketing, a low, medium, and high bundle is easy for someone to relate to. Your standard or essentials, your luxury, and then your quick shoot or whatever you want to call it. But your lower end package. I think 3 is good. I will tell you that, wow, we struggle to not only have 3. We have more than 3 on ours because we offer things like an exterior only shoot. We have Matterport. We don't put Matterport into all of our bundles. We let our realtors choose. So I wish that, wow, we could get to 3 only. But we put the 3 front and center. So we think about the order of them. We typically have our luxury package. We have our essentials. And then we would have another package right after that at the very top of the page. Makes it easy for them. And in fact, we've actually had realtors ask us like, hey, can you just put this on the order page? So one of the teams we work with in Columbus, Ohio, they market and they have specific bundles that they want. So we just went into Spiro and we built them the exact bundles. And their clients don't even have an option to not choose what their core marketing package is. They have bundle 1, 2, or 3. And that's the way that the team leader wants to market. So we just built them a custom order page. They get exactly what they want. It's great for us, great for them. It makes it easy for them. And not only is it easy for them, but they feel like they're taken care of. They have their own custom order page where they get exactly what they want.
You bring up an interesting point about talking to the brokerage and having these pre-built bundles. That's something that Spiro does really well, is really marketing things towards the brokerage and building those brokerage deals. And building the custom order page. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was podcast 1. And I would love to, if you have a question about building a brokerage deal, I would love to continue this discussion. Send me an email, hello@spiro.media. Pose the question. We'll bring you on. Maybe we can do some live question and answer. But if you're not thinking about selling to a broker, oh my goodness, you should start thinking about it. I mean, we have some relationships where we sell $1,600 a year, $1,200 a year, $1,000 a year, $800 a year. And we do it for all their agents. If you want to talk about like top-down selling, this topic gets me excited. Inside of Spiro, we can sell custom order pages, custom bundles. We can sell, we can do company pay, agent pay. Everything can be customized to the company and what they want, when they want invoiced, the interval that they want invoiced. And these are all things that we've found over the years and we've built into the system to really accommodate a broker. So right. if you're not thinking about this, let's get together and think about how we can streamline and strategize for your business in 2022 and 2023 and get you some of these listings where you're shooting 1,000 a year for one company.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That kind of leads into another topic we might tackle in the future is when you're shooting that many for one broker, the brokerage might be tempted to ask you for an exclusive agreement with you. And there's some things to navigate through that question. When I had C Imaging Solutions, you and I talked about that because I had a company that wanted me to shoot exclusively for them. It kind of strokes your ego a little bit, but then there's some potential pitfalls to agreeing to something. So we'll cover that in another podcast.
Yeah, that's a great one to talk about, Craig, of what that means, the impact of your business. Just do a simple pros and cons list. And, I think that's what we did with your business. We just went through and your conclusion would be different than someone else's conclusion. There's not right or wrong. You just have to make sure that when you do it, it's right for your business.
Right. So I'm going to ask a hot button question right now. And I've kind of alluded to it, but we've kind of skirted around the side of it. The question, and I've seen this debated in some of the Facebook groups that we're in, the question of do I put together in my bundle or as a standalone item a certain number of photos? So say 25 photos, 35 photos, 50, or do we package it based on square footage? How does that tie in with how a realtor thinks what they need in a listing? So selling to their need. I've seen a lot of debate on this.
Yeah, I have a very strong opinion on this, and I think it's a question you should ask your realtors. When you get a listing, Realtor A, when you get a listing, how do you know what you need to market that listing? If that realtor looks back at you and says, when I get a listing between this size and that size, I need 45 images. And when I get a listing that's a little bit bigger, I need 60 images. I don't think that's what you're going to get. And I'm kind of giving you my answer, and I'm kind of pushing you along the way. But realtors don't think about the number of images. They don't think about how long a video should be. They don't even know what that means.
Right.
I mean, my mother, love her to death. She's 75 years old. She's a realtor. She's number 14 here on the board, and she's doing this as a hobby. I mean, she doesn't understand technology. She doesn't know she's called me and said, Todd, where's the W key on my keyboard? I'm not joking you.
Yeah.
So you have to think like that. What if your client doesn't? My mom doesn't know the difference between a 1 minute and 2 minute video. We don't even sell a 1 or 2 minute video. We just sell a cinematic video, and we decide what's best for them. For the number of photos, we take photos based on the square footage. We take the number of photos needed to show off the features of the home.
Yeah, I've had quite a few realtors when I was shooting make the statement, you're the professional, you do what you know best. Because I would kind of consult with them a little bit on, well, here's the average length that we're shooting for, and here's the why. We don't want to lose people before the end of the video. Here's the number of photos that we can deliver, plus or minus. We shoot as many as we need to cover the property. But here's one of the pushbacks I've seen on shooting by square footage or shooting enough to cover the property. I've seen the argument made, in some of these online groups. Well, by doing that, you're going to overshoot and deliver too many photos to the realtor, and they're going to get frustrated with that. What's your thought on that?
It's just a process, and it's a training thing. I would worry about if you have to deliver 40 images of not delivering what they want. And I would argue that if you're delivering 40 images, then you're shooting way more than 40 images, and you're calling those back in Lightroom or Bridge after the fact. And we don't do any of that. That's time saved. We shoot in a particular order. In our training, we have a set amount of images that our photographer should take based on the room, family room, main rooms versus off rooms versus bedrooms and bathrooms. And we have found that to be very effective in getting the correct number of images. And then as a whole, we look back and we know the average number of images that we shoot so that we can account for editing cost. If you do sell by the number of images, it does make it very simple to calculate your cost of goods, Because if you're selling 40 images, then you know your cost is 40 times your editor per image fee, as to where over the course of the year, we look at the average number. I think on average, I think WOW does like 48 is the last that we've done. And we don't set a number of images. We just know that's an internal thing. And then we put that cost into our overhead, or our cost of goods, excuse me. But I would argue that if you're delivering a set number of images, you're taking a lot more than you have to as well. And you're spending time that you don't need to in your computer. And that's not valuable time. Valuable time is you in a house and you in a real estate office, or you with a cup of coffee across from a realtor.
Yeah, good point. Good point. If you're watching this and you have some different thoughts or different ideas, leave a comment. Absolutely, we want to get a conversation going. So feel free to leave a comment in your experience. What's working well in your market with your realtors? We'd love to get this discussion going in the comments and help each other out. This is working for WOW Video Tours in the markets that we serve in, but it might work differently out west. In Western markets that we don't work in right now. So it's an interesting topic on how to sell to realtors, and we have assumptions, but we, like you said earlier, we really have to think like a realtor and build something that's easy and efficient for them to be able to go, yep, here's my average listing. Boom. There's the essentials bundle. I don't even have to think about it. WOW Video or whatever company has it covered, they're going to take care of me.
Yeah. The comment that you made, Craig, was very interesting about when you were trying to explain some of the details of your services, that the realtor just said, I don't know, you're the professional. What do you think? And I think there's a lot of value in that. And I don't know how you took that statement back to you when they said that to you.
I mean, I appreciated it because they were looking at me as a consultant, basically. They didn't know the knowledge. I had shot enough that, that my business was growing and we were known in the Toledo, Ohio market, and they trusted us. It's a matter of trust. They trusted that I knew what I was talking about in terms of how, an optimal number of images to adequately market that house, how long a video should be. It was one less thing that they had to worry about. And they knew I was going to take care of them and represent them well on the listing. So yeah, I took it as a compliment. Hey, you're the professional. You worry about that. I'm like, I got it. I'll take care of you. So, all right. Well, any final thoughts that you have before we wrap things up here?
My only input is if you have a question, ask your clients. That's one thing that I struggle with as I started my business. I assumed some things and I knew what I knew, but I didn't know what they know and what they were thinking. So if you can figure that out, that's the key to success. And it might be different in your market versus our markets, but the important thing is getting in the head of your client, understanding how they think, and then just meeting those needs.
Absolutely. It makes it a human relationship and not just a sales pitch. You're working with them on how to best help them meet their goals. So, Todd, thank you. Always fun. And we'll have another fun podcast next week.
Yeah. For those of you out there, if you have a question, reach out to us and let us know. We would love to hear your opinions on this topic and really think that everyone can benefit by starting a discussion. So don't hesitate to reach out.
Right. You can reach Todd at hello@spiro.media. You can reach me directly at craig@spiro.media. And feel free to ask questions, make comments, leave comments in the YouTube channel or on Podbean as well. And you can stop by our website as well if you want to find out more about Spiro software and how the software can help you in your back office and really grow and maximize your business. Check us out at spiro.media. Still open to taking some beta testers, I believe, Todd?
Yes. We still love to, if you have a interest in understanding what we're doing or how we're different, would love to get you in. And, we're getting very close to pushing a very large update here with the design of the back end system. So maybe not immediately, Craig, but definitely here once we push this update in about a week and a half.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. All right. Well, that's going to wrap things up this week. So until next week, enjoy your blessings and take a breath.
Thank you for joining us for the Spiro podcast, Managing Your Real Estate Photography and Videography Business. This is a production of Spiro and Wow Video Tours. You can find out more about Spiro's real estate media business management software at our website, spiro.media.